Hello guys, welcome back to the second video of the F1 Esports 2025 Championship Round 2 in China. And hopefully you guys watched the first one and enjoyed it. And we're now here on the second one in China, so literally the day after the Bahrain race. And it's safe to say, spoiler alert, Australia didn't go too well as a personal performance and as a team performance. But as you can see, we're now loading into qualifying in China, and we see that there is rain forecasted, but we just don't exactly know when. Between Q2 and Q3, rain is forecasted, and it's hard to get a read on when that would be. So China, very controversial qualifying session, probably the most controversial of the year. And this is where people really discovered the power and the problem as well that we had in qualifying, and that is the slipstreaming. If you have a look at the minimap, many people already starting to use it now, where they start a lap relatively close to the car in front, and they just gain a lot of free lap time. I mean, even if you're just like 1.5 seconds behind, is a lot. Here, right now that I'm behind the Williams, I think I'm a bit too far behind to even to feel anything. So we obviously weren't really going to risk playing this gray area that it is written in the rules that you're not allowed to give slipstream, or the car that gives slipstream to someone is the car that is penalized, which doesn't really make sense, because why wouldn't the car that is behind get penalized, if not both of them? Because it's the car behind or his responsibility to start the lap in clean air. So it was a very controversial and gray area moment these first few days, and I'm sure people have used this in Australia as well. We weren't aware of it much, and we heard about it afterwards. And then China really just highlighted everything and pushed everything to another level. As you can see, many people doing a lap behind someone, and me and Barry, we were just not allowed to. I mean, the team that we represent, and just our image is just way more important than this, and it's not a good look to maybe go against these rules and potentially get penalties. And we just want to avoid all of that and just be as clean and fair as possible and mind our own business. So that is what we're going to do, and hopefully can still make it through. But myself and Barry now, P8 and P9 already, even with a really good lap that we just did in Q1, we weren't in the top 3, top 4, which we were a bit surprised, even though the gaps are small. But as you can see, it was a Red Bull 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's not a coincidence there. So we're gonna go out again. Don't want to risk going out in Q1. It's just not worth it. So we're just gonna hopefully improve, even just by a little bit, which we are already. We are up by 900ths of a second, which we have a really good start to the lap here. And as you can see, again, I'm in clean air. There's no one in front of me that's giving me slipstream. But look at behind. Look at the minimap behind us. The McLaren, that kick, that I think it's a Haas, and they're all in a train. And then I think there's a Red Bull there as well behind another kick. It's just, yeah. We're just going to keep going here. We are up by 60 now. Lost a little bit of time at the end of Sector 2. I'm telling you, the first lap we did was very good. I'm not going to improve it by much I wasn't thinking that I was going to improve it by much. So I really had to push hard for this improvement. But I do know that I have a lot of lap time in the last corner, because I remember the whole lap was really good, except last corner, which I had to take it safe and lift because I was going a bit wide and I didn't want to invalidate. So we're about a 10th up here. And let's see how much time we get in the last corner, which was much better. Yeah, there was about half a tenth, if not more, in there. And we go provisional, or I think we just go P1 in this session. Do I? Yeah, I do go P1. That was a really good lap by myself, especially I wasn't even on the slipstream. So very proud. And as I can see that we have a good pace, but Barry doesn't make it through, unfortunately. He's down in P16. And here's the dilemma. Here I started like a second and a bit behind Jarno, but also we didn't know that when the rain would come. We predicted the rain would come towards the end of Q2, which means we didn't want to risk having rain on our last run, so we decided to go out on fresh tires straight away, which this in hindsight was the completely wrong choice. I mean, I'm on fresh tires. Jarno's on used tires at this point, I believe. So we're gonna catch him during this lap, and I'm also gonna have a little bit of slipstream on the back in the back straight, and you'll see how much I gained later on, because this meant that then we only had one fresh softs, and we had to use it, or we decided to use it at this 8-minute mark, or the second run mark. And that meant we have no fresh tires at the end of the session in case it doesn't rain and it's still dry. So it was a risky, the whole situation was just risky, because we were already disadvantaged by not doing the slipstreaming, and then we just didn't even know when the rain would come, and we had to use 2 sets of softs in Q1 anyway. So it was just a very tough decision. Thomas there goes P1 with a fully slipstream lap, as you can see on the minimap, right behind that Aston Martin the whole way. So I'm sure he was on used tires and just had a lot of time with the slipstream. But myself, on new tires, we crossed the line with a 0.51, which it's a really good lap. Like, that is a really, really good lap for Q2. And now we're going to use my second set of new tires so the last set of new tires that I have, because again, our prediction was the rain would come in a few minutes time, and if you don't get a good lap in now, then in the end of the session there will be too much rain for anyone to improve. So that's what we were thinking. But anyway, we are now up a little bit in sector 1, 200s up. Maybe we can find a little improvement, but it's going to be hard. I can tell you guys that lap was very, very good. As you can see, I am now down a bit on the delta, and we just need a really, really good middle sector if we want to have any chance of improving, because my last sector was really fast, and you will see why. Even the distance I had to Jarno there gave me slipstream. And look at the lap times, 29.1. I mean, look at the train in the first shell, like in turn 1. There's a train of 5 cars there that all did a lap together, and all of them passed me. And you just can't fight that. We are now 1/10 red. And even when I was like more than a second behind Jarno, look at the amount of time I'm losing on the straight. I'm losing more than half a tenth here, almost 70. And imagine if you are sitting right behind someone, or like 4 or 5 tenths behind someone. It was just crazy. I mean, there was absolutely nothing I can do. I don't even finish the lap because there was no point. And we had to come up with something. We had to figure something out, because I don't have fresh tires. I don't want to do the slipstreaming. What we ended up doing is go out on used tires and hopefully be the lead car in the train. This is a 100 IQ moment, or 200 IQ moment from ourselves and Ben, my engineer. If I'm just the first one of the train and I do my normal lap on the used tires, it should be slow enough so that everyone behind me would not improve. And I really thought this was going to work. But as you can see right at the end here, for some reason, Danny Beresney, in third car in the train, leaves a big gap to Freddy. I'm not sure why, because there's no advantage of being that big of a gap. But as you can see, I did a normal lap, and I was 7 tenths red because of the used tires, just very, very slow. But because Danny left that big of a gap behind Freddy, everyone improved, Danny included. I mean, Danny still had slipstream from Freddy, but as you can see, this is a screenshot. This was me and everyone behind that just, yeah, you can't fight this. I mean, it is what it is. I'm now starting P13. This meant that Freddy was out as well, because I'm sure Freddy thought he was in a perfect position, super close to me for slipstream and have a good lap, but he just didn't know that I was on used tires. And yeah, that was unfortunate for him. I mean, he must have been frustrated and out, but I had to do whatever it took. I mean, I just had to try it, and it was going super well. But Danny, unfortunately, just passes to in P10. He just unfortunately just left that too much big of a gap, and everyone else improved behind. As we now jump into Q3, this is where the rain came. It didn't come end of Q2. It came right at the start of Q3, and this was a one-shot quali, and everyone is in the train. Look at the map. Except Otis Lawrence, which I don't know why he didn't go out earlier. The rain is coming, and it's about to rain in a minute or so. The whole grid is in a slipstream train. I mean, yeah, and the fact that there's many rules written about this not being allowed in qualifying, and people would get punished for giving slipstream and sorts like that. It was just very infuriating for us. very infuriating for many people, and I don't think it was really fair. I mean, it's fair if everyone knows about it and they're allowed to do it, but if there isn't a clear rule and or a clear something, we didn't know. They said you could be penalized or not at discretion of the stewards. So we just had to hope that the stewards would be on your side at that point. And yeah, it is what it is. So now we're just gonna go on board with Ulas, and I just want to give you an example exactly of how much they gain from this. And Ulas was the last car on this train, so he had the best chance of getting pole. He had a good gap to Brendan, not too close, but also close enough to have all the slipstream effect, but not have as much dirt air effect in the corners. As you can see here, he's already out of ERS deployment. His last corner is extremely bad. I think he lost a tenth there or more, and he goes P1 with a 0.02, which is a crazy lap time, and there was just no chance I could have done anything, any of us. Yeah, Ulas gets pole position for China. Unbelievably, the slipstream was allowed, well, to what we can see. And yeah, this is the grid for today's race. Ulas P1, Thomas P2, Jarno P3, Brendan in P4 as well. Ismail, the championship leader who won the first race and got pole in the first one, P5. Yeah, I don't really know what to say about that qualifying. We were all super shook, and we were... yeah, just lost for words at that point. So let's just focus on the race now. We will be starting on the hard tire, of course, because again, it's another damage limitation race. We're at the back. We have to do something different, and we just have to play our risks. I mean, P13, I don't want to get P10 or 9. I want to go for bigger points like P6 or 5. So once again, starting on the hards, we get a good start. We just don't want to lose any positions here. We might go around the outside of Yoni here if we see a little chance. It's super easy to go side by side here in turn 1 China. There's a lot of space and grip to play with, and we do end up passing Yoni, so that was a very good start from us there. Hopefully, we can make another position or two if we see a gap. Alfie going around the outside. I had to brake there. I just didn't want to risk any sorts of damage. Unfortunately, Barry was involved in an incident with Lucas, I believe. Barry had wing damage. He's behind the train by a good 5-6 seconds. The race is over for him, and yeah, Barry also, so well, two races in a row now, also not getting any points. It's a really rough start, not gonna lie. And just watching these first half of the season, basically, is just very depressing, to be honest with you. But it is what it is. We have to learn from it, and I have to show you guys what happened and why the championship went, how it went. So yeah, the first 4 rounds were, I believe, extremely unfortunate and very unlucky for us. But on to the race now. Alfie is not gonna... Alfie's been a pretty good, pretty smart racecraft recently, so he's not gonna go for a move down the inside there, because there was just so much risk to get wing damage. Because in hairpins, we just bunch up so much, and with the way the braking is in the game, and the flicking to stop the car is just a bit awkward to follow someone close, and easy to break your front wing. But now we skip on to lap 10, like literally nothing happened until lap 10, and Tamas Gal pitted from the soft tire, which he did a really good job on the soft tires to make up positions there, but Otis Lawrence followed or went in as well, lap 10, from the medium though, and that is extremely early. I mean, I didn't expect anyone to pit lap 10, maybe the soft runners, but not a medium runner. As we see now, Brendan pitting from the hards. I'm not sure what is going on at this point, unless I saw it wrong. But Brendan pitted from the hard tire already in lap 11. But yeah, Joris Krozen actually still out on lap 12 with the softs. So he did a mega stint there. And he's not even in that bad of a position. But yeah, the undercut here is enormous. So... And so is the 1 lap pressure delta. I'm just going to go through everyone that pits here. As you can see, I missed the last corner a little bit there, and I am now still out with Dani and Istvan, and I believe we were just going to keep going long. I mean, I see the train is a bit slow, if we see behind. I think Thomas is leading it, and now there is Istvan who's going to overtake me, and together we can work together and slingshot each other. Oh my god, I cannot speak. Slingshot each other into Dani and maybe make up some of the race time back. And hopefully, I was praying here that Istvan wouldn't pit. Thankfully, he didn't. Yoni does, though, and so does... Actually, no, he doesn't, sorry. He made a mistake. And many people behind do pit, though. And this is the next lap. We saved some ERS, and we are now going to slingshot past Istvan and catch quite a bit Dani. And we should be pitting this lap in the hopes that maybe Dani wouldn't pit and then we would pass him. But as you can see, look how close we got. From 2 seconds down to 1.3-ish, 1.2. So if I get maybe a good pit entry, I can maybe get into his DRS range. And if we do that, we're in an amazing position because Dani is in the shot for fighting for a win. And it's crucial. It's crucial that we stay with him. Yoni does follow me in. Lucas follows me in. Istvan keeps going for an extra lap, I believe. He obviously couldn't pit with Dani, so he was going to be last anyway. So why not go an extra lap? And I'm sure we'll see Istvan one more time towards the end of the race with the fresher tires. If he passes everyone. But here we come out behind Dani. Dani is right in front of Josh and Duncan. But Duncan had damage and he was just out there to slow everyone down. So as you will see here, this outlap is just completely ruins my race. I mean, I'm not sure why he was doing this. I mean, I guess to help Otis. But Otis was already in front, fighting for the win in P2. I think he's P2 right now, yeah. And Duncan having broken front wing and already behind everyone. Like he's already P14. Everyone in front of Duncan is a threat to Otis. So I'm not sure why he defended this so hard. But look at the amount of time we're losing. I mean, we lost more than a second now already. And he's just making sure I have the hardest time possible passing him. And this completely ruined my race. If I was right in front of him, I could have had Josh's DRS, and that meant I would have been with Dani. And us three together, as you can see them on the minimap, Josh and Dani together are going to work together to catch so fast. And unfortunately, I won't be there to do that. And it really, really sucks because now I'm 2 seconds behind them. And I've got Yoni behind me who's just going to pass me. And Josh will just slow down to give Yoni the DRS. And I'm just going to be stuck behind the 2 Alpines. As we see here, I can't do anything. I'm not going to waste all of my ERS to basically not even defend the position. I just have to pray that Yoni doesn't get into Josh's DRS next lap. But knowing them, I mean, obviously, if I'm Josh, I'm just going to slow down and give it to him. And it'll help him defend. So that is what they did. And that is what we're going to cut to now, because we're now into lap 20. And we're catching the train. I mean, we have such a pace advantage. Tom Manley is on all tires here. I believe he pitted way earlier, and we have to get rid of him as soon as possible. It's crucial. Brendan is now in P10. Not sure what happened to him. He started on P4, so I guess the race didn't go too well for him either. But I just didn't have a chance to pass Tom yet, and I need to get moving. I mean, there is only 7 laps left, and this and the end of lap here, and we see an opportunity here because Tom is just not using any ERS, and we almost lose the 1 second gap to Yoni. But thankfully, I notice what's happening, and I pass him straight away, and keep the DRS. And here we are now behind Brendan in P12, so he will be out of the points. But we're still in a good position to get some points. But if you look at Dani is so far up the road. We thought he would be easily fighting for the win at this point, and it really, really pissed me off and frustrated me that Duncan existed where he did and ruined our chances to get a better result. Because look how far Dani is. He is in the top 5 with 6 laps to go. And that is a huge pace advantage he has on those mediums, and he's going to get past them extremely easy. Ulas, I see he's out of ERS. Easy pass on him to use a little bit of my energy, and we are up to P11. Now, again, stuck behind the 2 Alpines. But we see a chance here, and we go for it down the inside of Yoni. I even forgot I did this, but I just cannot get a good exit here, I believe. And Yoni has the inside, so he keeps the position for the time being. That was very well defended by him. Tamas now, obviously on the older mediums, or he did a soft medium from lap 10. That is absolutely crazy. that he's done that. I'm not sure why he didn't go a bit longer like Joris did. So his tires must be absolutely cooked. I mean, my tires are 7 laps fresher, so he is using all of his battery to defend from me. And here I go down the inside, but Yoni sees that and starts braking around. He starts moving on the brake and completely blocked me from making this move on Tamas. I mean, I don't know what to think of it. He moved in the braking zone and blocked me from passing Tamas, and so it took me an extra lap or an extra sector to pass him. And I don't know how fair that is, or I don't even know if the stewards looked into that, if I'm being honest. But it is what it is now. Up to P10 with 4 laps to go. As you see here, Yoni and Joris have a little crash, and thankfully we avoided and passed them without any issue. But it would have been really bad if I lost the DRS. Thankfully, I managed to keep the DRS. I think I did 1 or 2 laps in clean air actually, and used all my battery to catch back up. But now, as you see, we are now behind Josh, and Istvan is right behind us on that 1 lap fresher tires, and he's just saving. He knows he's not going to get much more out of this race, but I really wanted to pass Josh and get that P7 and maybe P6, because I knew Otis pitted lap 10, if you guys remember correctly. So Otis actually started on the hards and put on the medium on lap 10. Otis did a hard medium from lap 10. That is interesting, to say the least. But Josh here puts me wide a little bit, and I don't really have much space. We go side by side. I do end up passing him, but so does Istvan. I believe Josh had no more ERS there. So now we have 1 more lap, the final lap, to maybe pass Otis. I knew he was on extremely old tires, but he was on super high wings as well. So his pace wasn't too bad still at this point, and I just didn't have any ERS because I had to use all of it on Josh and defending from Istvan. As you can see, he's very fast at this point with that lap fresher tires, and he sent it down the inside there into starter sector 2, but doesn't make the move stick. And this is not ideal for me because I don't have much ERS. I know Otis has more, and this means if you have more ERS, you're just going to pass on the straight. I mean, you will see here, I start catching him because he has higher wings, but as soon as I'm out of ERS, which I am now, I have less power, and he just, yeah, I don't gain anymore. And we tried to go around the outside, but I just didn't have the grip or speed to do that. And now we're just a little bit under threat from Istvan from behind. I saved a little bit of ERS for this last exit, which was not really good, but he gets alongside and it gets super close, and I just about keep him behind by 12 milliseconds. I keep the P7 just in front of him. So P13 to P7 was a relatively good race. Again, a recovery from what was just a qualifying where we just couldn't do anything. I mean, yeah, it sucks. It really sucked because we were so far behind in the championship. Jarno wins the race, Thomas in P2, so very, very high contenders for the championship. Danny Bersney in P3. And I do believe if I was with Danny, I could have fought for the podium as well. Or at least a top 5 finish. So, yeah, it sucks a bit, but yeah, first points on the board for us. And I'll see you guys in the next video. It's going to be Bahrain. Thanks for watching once again. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Ciao, ciao.